Welcome back, everybody, to the second episode of the First World Problem podcast. I hope y'all enjoyed the first part. If you haven't heard the first episode, link is in the description for those who need to catch up on the first episode, which is like a pilot. YouTube didn't allow me to upload videos longer than 15 minutes, but that was because I was a brand new channel, I guess. I talked to my network and they helped me out getting out of this problem. Just kidding. I don't belong to any networks, but that's a topic for a different day. Now, I do want to send a shout out to my first fan, my crazy friend. She's the one that gave me the motivation and the pep talk to start this project. Her name is Grace. So thank you very much, Grace. She's my sister from another mister, and her almost here baby, my nephew, Frank Jr. Just kidding, that's not the name. But a shout out to them and her husband. He's a cool guy too. Anywho, so what is today's topic? Well, that is a great question, comment section. Manners, common sense, and self-entitlement. I know it sounds like a lot, but we will get through this together, I promise. So why talk about this? Because no matter how old you are, those are very important life lessons. Manners are not only the ones that our parents teach us when we were little kids, but also the ones that we pick up as we grow old. And weird enough, some people apparently never got that lesson. Don't chew with your mouth open, respect your elders, everybody else, don't interrupt, so on and so forth. As I mentioned before, I'm 24 years old, and my mom told me that manners will get you many doors open in life. And that's something I believe to be very true, even up to this day. I hate to brag, but my close friends' mothers would always tell my mom how well behaved I was. And you get that feeling of accomplishment. And up to this day, I still like it when they talk good about me. And well, actually, who doesn't? Who doesn't like it when they talk good about you? Everyone does. Even though I've only had 4 jobs in my life, I know that may not be enough experience in the professional aspect of my life, but I'm getting there. I still feel that manners are not being taught anymore, or people are just not practicing their manners. When I used to work at the fast food place, rude and stupid people, that was my daily bread. That's all I heard all the time. People nowadays think that because you're shoving money to people's faces, it makes you the almighty boss. Well, if you're the kind of person who thinks that way, in all sincerity, go fuck yourself, please. See what I did there? Manners. It's true up to a certain level, of course. If you order something and shit is wrong, of course you're allowed to complain. But when the person who is taking your order is not being an asshole and is actually trying to help you, don't you dare turn into an asshole. I was part of the rare breed of minimum wage employees who actually cared about his job and doing things the right way. And I had so many people who called me so many colorful insults. I don't know how many times I heard things about my family. My father and my mother were this and that. I lost count of all the times that they said that I was going to hell. It was horrible. They even got racist a couple of times, asking me to get somebody who speaks English. Motherfucker, how dare you tell me I don't speak English? It's not my first language, clearly enough. I carry a huge accent as we speak. It's not my fault English is not my first language. I was brought to this country when I was a young boy, and I still took time to learn English so that I could survive. And don't bring that bullshit excuse to me that this is America. We speak English, blah, 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 blah. Sarah Palin. And this country has no official language. Don't believe me? Google it. It's not even on the official website of this government. Now, if you see something like that, go ahead and take a screenshot and send it to me at firstworldproblempodcast@gmail.com, or now on Twitter as FWP Podcast. Now, with that theory being debunked, it bothered me that people would come up to me with that attitude. One guy topped that and went up a whole new level in the scale of racism. I was all like, "Hi, welcome to may I take your order?" And this guy was all like, whoa, slow down, Sofia Vergara. And for those who don't know, she is, let me explain. Sofia Vergara is this woman from Colombia. She's famous from having a few TV shows in Latin America, and she's also a beautiful woman. Also doing some work for Univision, whatever. And then she decided to start doing some American television, which there's nothing wrong with that. I respect her work. Her accent feels more natural when she's doing interviews. I just can't stand how exaggerated it is when she's doing her TV show. I'm not gonna name her TV show because I don't like it. I respect her work, but I don't like the TV show. There's that, and that's who she is. That really bothered me when this guy decided that it's okay for him to call me that. Also, people who were rude or ignorant, or even worse, rude and ignorant. I hated those the most. Those that would come up to me and give me crap for no reason, just because they're having a bad day. Well, screw you too. Well, screw you, man. People who wouldn't even bother to read the menu when it changed, or pay attention to what they're ordering, and then still some even trying to argue with me about the price, like if I had a control over that type of things. Obviously, I don't. I'm just the employee. I'm just the cashier. It was a terrible experience altogether. Not gonna say all people are terrible, but a good percent of them were assholes. At the fast food restaurant, I had terrible co-workers, mostly high school kids, and people who acted like high school kids, terrible customers, and again, now in this call center, I only have terrible customers. And again, it's not all people, but most of them are really terrible. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand both sides of the coin when it comes to the telemarketing job. On one side, I know I'm a telemarketer, and I know for a given fact that nobody likes them, not even I do. Especially if it's unrequested stuff. Like, signed up for it. When they call you and be like, well, this credit card is for you, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Well, that's the kind of stuff that bothers me. But if you signed up for something at a booth somewhere, it's obvious that you're asking for calls. You became a lead for their system. Now, I believe that's common sense, right? I hope you said yes, because when you sign up, you agree to their terms and service, whether they are verbal or written, or both. But nobody ever reads or pays attention to that shit. Example, iTunes. Now, when you install iTunes, it says in the fine print, and it's something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing, don't quote me. It says that you don't own the music that you buy from their store. They are lending it to you, and that they have the right to take it away from you. And that's the part I don't get. If you're giving them money, why are they not giving you the songs completely? Yeah, I understand there's people who ruin it by doing illegal activities with that, but it's not like you rented a movie from Blockbuster. Yes, I know that example is very old, and some might not even have a clue of what I'm saying. You used to go where? To do what? Yeah, well, I know, it's kind of weird. Back in the day, there was no Netflix. People used to get in their cars or their parents' car to drive to a place who had a bunch of movies. Pick what they had there, go back home, and enjoy what they rented. So therefore, I understand that when you do that, you gotta give it back to the store. But this is not fucking Blockbuster anymore. There is a famous actor who actually tried to fight Apple for that, and I believe that was Bruce Willis, the one and only. And yes, Apple may not be the only one that does that. There might be a few more services, if not all of them. Who knows? And this story came out something along April 2012. It might have been an April Fool's story. You know how the news stations are. But anyway, the idea here is that they are blockbustering the digital media that you like. It's like this was 2000s all over again. So yeah, people don't read the fine print. And going back to the telemarketing idea, so you're now in their system as a lead. You can request them not to sell your information to third parties, but not even that is fully guaranteed. So what do you do now? Well, there's a few options. Number one, hope you like telemarketing calls, because that's what you signed up for. But oh boy, were you 100% sure that you were going to win that brand new car, or that brand new whatever it is. Option number two, it's your decision whether to pick up your phone or not. After all, it's all yours. So if you don't know the number, don't answer. That's what I do. And again, I believe that's common sense, right? Unknown number, not answering. Call me 5 times, still not answering. Or option 2.5. You can block the number yourself, because most smartphones these days allow you to do it. Just go to your settings, mess with your phone a little bit. Okay, now that's it. So you decided to option. Well, here's option number 3. Listen politely if you want to, but listen. If those pesky and stupid telemarketers are rude to you, well then hang up. Most of them won't, because they are being recorded or monitored. They actually are. They're just not saying it to be assholes or whatever. They actually are being monitored. I learned that the hard way. There's someone always listening. So and please don't blame it on them. Nobody forced a gun to your head for you to sign up to X promotion at X event. It's like going to the doctor and blaming him because he gave you a cure to your problem. Do you ever go to the doctor and say, fuck you, why are you trying to cure me, huh? You must want my money, pinche racket que tienen los doctores. That's George Lopez quote. I love George Lopez. But anyway, you must want my money, huh? Well, these people are only trying to do what they get paid to do. Call a dumbass who wants to win free shit. Now, of course, telemarketers will try anything to make you stay on the phone. And again, it's their job. We as a society need to stop shaming the wrong people. That's something I've never come to understand. It's like slut shaming, which it could be a real deep subject. I want to touch that subject because I don't want to get in trouble. But let's say, for example, there is a girl dressed really sexy and whatnot. And we're all quick to judge, well, she's a bitch, she's a whore, and 1,000 ways more to describe her. And I mean, we all like a good looking woman, and we don't really know the reason why she's dressed that way. And me being an alpha male, I would say that is something I really appreciate. A good looking woman dressed up all nice and stuff. Even women appreciate that. They won't let me lie. It's basically the same idea. We are judging somebody who simply is trying to do their job. There is 1,000 more examples. I could go on and on about this for hours, but you get the idea. So why not let the telemarketer finish what he has to say? But no, here comes America with their self-entitlement and rude asses, calling names and spending 30 minutes explaining how they are so busy and whatnot. It's bullshit. Let me tell you again, bullshit. If you're legitimately busy, don't pick up the phone because you're at work or whatever, unless you're expecting a call. Even if that's the case, you take a look at the damn caller ID to see who's calling before you pick up the phone. And again, refer to option number 2. Notice how I said America. Well, newsflash, America is the whole continent, not just you, Mr. Selfish. Is this the United States? Yes, it is. But it's like saying, well, I'm from Florida. Yeah, what part? Well, Florida, duh. See how stupid that sounds? And number 2, these people are just doing their job. Everybody has to eat, right? Of course. So again, why with the rudeness and the self-entitlement? Why? It's just something I don't understand. And yes, there is mistakes. We are humans. We all make mistakes. I heard people going as far as saying, well, if I won, then they should send it in the mail to me, right? No. Who are you to receive such a special treatment? You're nobody. And even if you were somebody that important, don't you think you'll be able to afford your own crap instead of depending on people to pay that for you? Of course you could, or you would, if you were somebody that important. But if you don't want it, then why did you sign up for it? Don't give me that bullshit excuse that, oh, well, I was trying to help the people at the booth. No, you're not. Don't lie to yourself. You actually wanted that. You're just putting up your excuses of why you're so busy or why you don't want X or Y. So it's that simple. So now you're going to tell me that these people at the booth have mental powers and made you do it Professor Xavier style. So what's your excuse, huh? You don't need it, walk away. It's as simple as, no thank you, I don't want to participate in this event, in this offer, whatever. Now let's say you finally decided to decline the offer while you're on the phone with the telemarketer. Well, okay, great. Thank you, have a great day. It's that simple. Now, I will have to say though that as a telemarketer myself, my goal is to buy time so that I could tell you what this is all about. And it varies from company to company what procedures are, but for me, it's not to hang up on people. And lastly, the easy way out is to be a little bitch who didn't understood the whole deal from the beginning, and they simply asked to be removed from the list, which is again, when it's unsolicited, it's totally understandable. But you gave them your phone number, you are giving them permission to call you. And again, I do understand there is mistakes. Someone might have entered you because they might think you could be interested in such deal, or simply because people are assholes and just like to play funny pranks, quote unquote, to other people. It's something I've seen as well. So what happens? Just clarify the issue, move on. No need to be dramatic or play games on the phone. So with all that said, what did we learn today? Don't be a piece of shit. There's a say that goes, it actually takes more muscles to smile than to frown. So smile today. And I'm going to leave you with my own phrase, which I would say it's my own. I haven't seen it anywhere on the internet before. Good manners are the currency of the soul. Unless you're a redhead, then of course you don't have a soul. Just kidding. Redheads, you are beautiful people too. I feel that I had to crack a joke after we discussed all these things today. So always be nice to each other, and remember this: we all have a family, and nobody likes it when they mess with them. So why are you messing with other people's families? Spread the love, not the hate. So here's a little update for you guys. A couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 at the most, on a Friday night going on Saturday, a tragic event happened. The singer and previous artist from the show NBC The Boys, Christina Grimmie, was killed outside a meet and greet at the end of her presentation. And I find it very disturbing that an innocent person like herself, who was actually younger than me for 2 years, is no longer with us. Rest in peace, Christina, and thank you for being with us. Now God has a new angel up in heaven taking care of us. Now, there's more good people than bad people. Why are these kind of things still happening in 2016? It's ridiculous. This 2016 has taken so many people already, and we're only halfway done this year. So some of these people have died of natural causes, and some of them because of health complications, or some of them because of terrible events. But people like Prince, Muhammad Ali, Glenn Frey, Rob Ford, Nancy Reagan, David Bowie, Alan Rickman. So a minute of silence for them. So please stop this madness and let's get along with each other. Also, for those who weren't famous but are no longer with us, that moment of silence was also for you. And for all the victims of all these terrible shootings and mass massacres and whatnot, aren't we supposed to be the smartest animal on earth? We've come a long way as a society, but what's the whole point of it if we're still having wars, you know? I don't believe that war fixes anything, and yet that's something that we've been doing ever since we have memory. So after all these tragic news and events, it's time to end today's podcast. This time for real though, but I do hate ending on a sad moment, because the whole point of this podcast is to entertain whoever is listening. And as a matter of fact, thank you for listening. But this is the world that we live in. It's kind of sad, but it is what it is. I've been Frank, your podcast master. Thank you for tuning in to this episode. And yes, I recorded this podcast in sections. I've been so busy lately. There's a lot of stress due to work, and also a few more things going on in my personal life. But I'm not trying to bore you with all the drama, so until next time, peace.